It's from the beginning of this century, and it was made to communicate the autonomous government with the offices on the other side, so to communicate through public buildings.
The doorway. Do you want to stand in the doorway? Yeah, you take it. Somebody takes care of us. Well.
Is here with the policeman. First we are going to stop to visit everything. And we'll stop, we'll see the view over this monument, and later on, well, today is Saturday, so today no one is working. And usually you can see young men, very strong, very handsome, with no
Dan moet ik even op de grond. Hugo.
And I'm a broker. So look here and
这真是很好，在这里，我们站在这里，有摆个卖了。啊？这个
It's like to say, this the last of cycles. This in the on the towers, you will see some well, let's go to see the facade there.
color, and never will have color, never. The only one with color is going to be it will be this. It's not very good, and the flavor, the taste is not very good, but this is very typical. Look the chairs here, that's very funny, because the tourist people, innocent, they don't know it. They come here and they sit down. And later on there is a man, a very nice man with a hat who comes here and asks for the money. Because if you want to sit down, you have to pay. And some people, they don't know it. It's very cheap, it's very economic, but it's fun, it's very fun. So the Ramblas is about 1 kilometer long, and it goes from Catalonia La Catalunya to, look this one, to Columbus Square, where is Christopher Columbus.
There's one of these guys who stands still.
The human statues, they are always in the same position, and when someone gives them a coin, they change the position, they move. And look over here on the right, this is the Pants and Company. Can you read Pants and Company? With yellow color. This is like McDonald's, but typical from Spain. It's like a Spanish McDonald's.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Here you can find typical Spanish sandwiches with the bread, with tomatoes, with serrano ham, with the Spanish omelette, with salad. It's very good. If you want to have lunch quickly, and I recommend you to try the serrano ham. The serrano ham. You say jamón serrano. Jamón serrano. Okay?
Ham sandwich.
And here in the Ramblas, you will see these kiosks where they sell news. Ah, look, this one is Christopher Columbus. Look this one. Look this one on the left.
Oh, birds.
Wait. So, say hello and he will say, no.
This guy all dressed up. Look at him.
But he's moving.
Here, look at.
So, here you will see the kiosks where they sell.
That's wild.
Dead animals like tortoise, fishes,
There's a
birds.
clown. They're really into birds. There's canaries everywhere.
Yeah, try getting one back into the U.S.
I don't think so.
Dead animals like turtles, fishes, birds, flowers, newspapers from everywhere.
Ooh, lock this stuff up at night or what?
And everything. This is a very typical street. This church on your right, this is the Bethlehem Church, like me. This is my church. Yes, the Bethlehem Church. This is one of the strangest churches in Baroque style in Barcelona. And in the Ramblas, we must be careful because very close from here there is Chinatown. And believe me, in Chinatown there is no Chinese restaurants, no Chinese people. It's just the name to call the most dangerous quarter in Barcelona, where you can find all the drugs, the prostitution, the thieves, and so on. And it's very close from here. I will show you where is Chinatown.
We want to see all the drugs and thieves.
Look at the bird.
Look at that one. Wow. It's pretty exotic ones. Big ones too, like chicken birds. Look at that. Heck? Another guy. Stand up. Look at, he's half and half. Half businessman and half hobo. Something to get some money.
Look this one. And one of them it's a figure. One of them it's a real. It's not human. And look on the left. Can you see? One is real and the other is not real. What happened? The children, they are afraid. Look, they are afraid. They want to leave. Look. So when someone gives them a coin, they change the position. They move. Here on the right, this palace, this is the culture department. And you will see in a moment, on the right, the most beautiful and colorful market in Barcelona. This is the Saint Joseph Market,
Barcelona.
also called La Roqueria. In a moment you will see it on the right.
Barcelona.
Tinted with red on top.
So look on the right, look on the right, look. Wow, how many people.
She's really into people.
Look on the right, can you see this cultural bank? This is La Caixa. La Caixa means the box. Look, the symbol was designed by Miro. John Miró. He was a very famous painter and a sculptor from the Catalan avant-garde from this century, a friend of Picasso. The symbol of La Caixa, it's a blue star, a yellow dot, and a red dot. The blue star represents a man. The yellow dot represents a man. The society employed inside a money box, like a good Catalan, because we have this reputation of saving people.
And birds.
This boy, over there, this boy, a boy with brown color, is always on a tree. Usually he is on the top of the tree. This is very... It's one of them who is with brown color. And usually you can see him on a tree. This is very funny. So here on the right, this is the opera, the main theater, the Liceo, where people so famous like Montserrat Caballé, Plácido Domingo, or José Carreras, they played here. Now it's always with works, and they are working there, because few time ago it was a fire inside, and some people think that it was provocated because it was too small, and now they want to make it bigger. It's 50 meters high, and inside there is an elevator to go up, to get up. And you know, this is very funny, very funny. Make the bridge, or just stop on the other side, where is the IMX. There is anyone who wants to go to the Ramblas? Up your hand, if there is anyone who wants to go to the Ramblas, or do you prefer to go directly there to have lunch? Yes, directly
Lunch.
there. Okay, because here there is a bridge, and if we cross the bridge,
Here, show my muscles. Show my muscles here. Show here. Here, this one here.
I mean these muscles.
Yeah, I've heard that Monte Carlo is a lot prettier.
You don't use a picture? It's a problem.
I emailed myself to Dorian, so when I got home I tell him this and I was on talking about it. Yeah, we had a baby coming home. A baby coming home from house. Wow.
This is maorka. Little place to get souvenirs. Very cool rock formation. Dude from Austria built this thing in 1868. He used to have parties here and invite all his friends. It's owned by Spanish Nouveau Riche now. I think they turned this thing into a restaurant. I'm not sure. Sign says restaurant. Nice and high, but not real neat. This is Valdemosa, the monastery. Here, read. See, German, Spanish. This is where Chopin rented apartment.
The monastery was founded in 1399 by King Martin the Humane, 1399. He ceded the building of the Majorcan king, Rey Sancho, which is the palace you will see later when we go to see the concert. He ceded these buildings so the Carthusians could found their monastery here. This church is from much later, because when they began the monastery in the palace of Rey Sancho, they decided then to build a new monastery here, and this church forms part of the new monastery. It was inaugurated in 1812, this church, and it's a neoclassic style. Most interesting thing to see inside the top left statue of Santa Caterina de Las, who was the patron saint of this village of Valdemosa. She was born here in the middle of the 16th century, and her house, where she was
Okay, this is Chopin's place.
When they came here, he was recommended by his doctors in Paris to move to a warm climate because he was poorly. He suffered from a chest complaint. So he was recommended to come south, to come to a warmer climate to spend the winter. Obviously, what he didn't realise is in fact deteriorate. So they had to leave much to so they arrived here in November.
Chopin's garden. This is the piano that Chopin used while he was in Mallorca. A bust and a hand of Chopin. These are all the dudes that come up here to play during the summertime Chopin festival. This is what he looked like when he was 39 years old, right before he died. Looks like a friend of mine. Yeah, it's pretty cool. This is his garden. Nice garden. They stayed here in November. He said it was wet and cold.
What's 5? Yeah.
Come on.
Number 5, you gotta go.
Nice view.
With the original book. Is the original.
Is it?
She said that the manuscripts weren't there because they've been being treated for mites. You know, she said the manuscript was normally there.
Oh, that's why it was the next one.
Yeah, because it was being treated for mites, so they didn't treat them, you know, we have a manuscript. Is this it here?
No, the one that should be next door. Oh, she said she didn't know what was there.
This was George Stan's writing desk. That was her nom de plume because back then women weren't respected in the field of literature. The hand of Chopin.
Again on the, I just don't know what's the best route. On the exit on the right.
Alrighty. Cool.
It has a very small room, so you have to come right in. You have to come in, please. Sorry, you have to come in a little closer. Come in a bit more because there's people standing outside. But I did think it was worth to come back and see it because it really is quite lovely. It isn't in fact the original pharmacy. The original pharmacy was near to the Palace of King Sancho, near to the rooms that we've just been in. So this one was relatively new. The pharmacy itself, it also served the local population. It wasn't just for the monks. So the people from the village here use this pharmacy a lot. They used to come in and buy medication. Some of the jars you can see still have the remains of the medication inside. You can see in the showcase there that it's got labels on and some of the remains of the medication is still inside. If you can get close enough, which we can't today, but I have been close enough to read what it says on some of the labels, and you have things like Arabic gum or the pulverized powder of the great beast snail and all sorts of fantastic, medicaments which were going to make you feel absolutely wonderful. We have a nice collection of Majorcan glass there on the walls. Here the Majorcan glass blowing is a traditional art, and there are various places here in Majorca where you can see that done. And a very, very beautiful collection of the Catalan ceramics. One thing I must say, that when the monks were thrown out of here in 1835, the pharmacist was allowed to stay on because he was serving the local population as well. But he had to renounce his habit. He couldn't wear his monk's habit and had to publicly renounce his faith. So he only managed to stay on because of that. So he was dressed in a normal suit. He was a Carthusian monk, but they made him renounce his habit. And on that condition, he was allowed to stay here. The pharmacy itself was open until 1912. They closed it in 1912. So as you can appreciate, it was very important for the people of this village that this pharmacy stayed open as long as possible. Right, okay. Now we'll see. So the fish will be brought up here.
This is Maorka, and I'm getting ready to leave in 15 minutes. It is a small town about 1,800 feet above sea level. This is the main street. It's called Palma. Everywhere you go, you see bazaars. These guys look like they're exercising.
Catalan and there's Galician. The Galician is very like Portuguese, and all these regional languages now are officially recognised, And for instance, in the university, it's up to the professor's own discretion whether he gives his lectures in one language or whether he gives it in the other. And most written papers that are coming out, government written papers are coming out bilingual. On one side they write it out in Castilian Spanish, and on the other side they write it out in Catalan. Right, this is your last view then of Valldemossa, if you want to take advantage now to take a snap as we go down here. Beautiful perfume in the air today. This is the best time really to come to appreciate the wildflowers. You can see the yellow broom-like plant or bush that's growing around here. And the perfume on the air, I wouldn't like to say what it is. It could be a mixture of different things. The honeysuckle is out now. Some of the roses have a very distinct perfume. And where you can see the bougainvillea, I'm looking now and I can't see any now, but the bougainvillea is that brilliant red. Yeah, it's really lovely. Where you can get it in red. Did this lake in front of the cathedral so that once again the cathedral could be reflected in the water. So there you are, you see the old city there, that's Palma Cathedral. It's a Gothic cathedral. They started to build it straight after the Christian conquest in 1229 or 1230 and didn't stop building till 1601. If you look carefully you will see that the pinnacles nearest to us are not there. So it is in fact incomplete. So 1229, 1230, stopping building in 1601. The building you can see at the side of the cathedral with the flag flying, that is the Moorish Palace of the Almudena. That was the original dwelling, the original palace of the Moorish kings when they were here. As I said before, they were here from 903 until the Christian conquest in 1229. Originally that site had been a Roman castrum because as the sea used to reach right up to here, it was a Roman castrum built on a little headland of a torrent which came out to sea just here ahead. So it's always been a very strategic point in the city. The Romans had their castle there, their castrum there, and then the Arabs used the same place for their own palace. Not very much is left of the original Moorish palace because, as I said, when the Christians came in, most of it was demolished. But the arch is a huge arch, which is the original Arab arch, which goes over the waterway, so that boats would drive.